Hi all, welcome back. Hal here with more Space Engineers, and as you can see, I am on a merry-go-round. Okay, well, not really, but I am the panda of all I purvey. So, we have a little bit to catch up on. I've got some ideas for where we're going to go next, but first, we have to get started, so let's go. Alright, well, since the last time we were together, first off I want to say happy Monday everybody. Hopefully you had a fantastic weekend. We've had quite a few more people join the community over the last week or so, and I want to say welcome to them, and I want to give a huge shout out to the folks who continue to join in on the fun over on the Patreon side of the house. Without you, this would not be possible. So, alright, so since we were together last time, if you remember, we built the shuttle. We took the shuttle into space, we grabbed some platinum, we brought the shuttle back. When we were off camera, I did a small experiment with the LY thrusters. Specifically, they have the pulse thruster, and that is a hybrid thruster which allows you to basically use it as an ion thruster or an atmospheric thruster. Now, as far as I can tell, it obviously does not do both at full power. Because it is a hybrid thruster, it does work fairly well in space. But in an atmosphere, I would say it's probably about as 75, maybe 75% of the normal power output. But it takes almost twice the power input. So it is balanced. You know, it's not like you're getting away with having fewer thrusters that allow you to do more. You do end up paying a price for them. So when that didn't work out quite the way that I'd want it, because what I had done is I had substituted a bunch of the lower thrusters down here. I'd taken all of those out and had put in, turn the light so you can see, I had taken out the large LY atmospheric thrusters to put in the pulse thrusters. And because of the sheer power, there just wasn't enough energy to power them to get the lift that I needed. Basically what I had done is I just powered everything on, took it up a couple of feet, took out one thruster, swapped out for the new thruster. When I took out the second of the three that we have as lift thrusters over here, and I had replaced it with the LY thruster, basically the whole thing came down and locked in on the landing gear, which is why we did it that way, to be a little bit safe. But nothing blew up, nothing exploded. It was just, you know, an interesting experiment. And then looking at the actual, because I haven't gone in and looked at the actual code settings for these yet, but just from trial and error, I'm going to say it's probably about 75% of the power output. For about 150% of the power input. So yeah, very expensive to power. So with that, we did this. It's not much to look at right now, I know. But what we've got here is a double container transport ship. I didn't realize it at the time that I was making it, and I went back and was watching some other YouTubers, specifically, I want to say Captain Shack and Wasted. Those guys have something that is designed roughly similar to this. They're doing it in their Sunday Survival series. If you haven't seen it, they actually stream it over on YouTube. I should say here on YouTube on Sundays when they can get everybody together for it. It's a lot of fun, so if you haven't checked them out, definitely go pay those guys a visit as well. I think I might have links to them on my main page. If not, let me know and I'll shoot you a link over if you're really curious. Alright, so what we have here is a failure to... Alright, so we're going to see how much, how well designed this thing is today. I have a feeling that it is going to give us some problems. I haven't put the gyro in yet. I don't have lateral thrusters either. What I'm thinking is that for this, We don't need large laterals. We really just need the large for lift, push, and braking thrust. So we've planned around that. Basically, what I have it set up for is each one of these, each one of these large, small ship thrusters to be fully powered is something like 1.5 megawatts, I think. Almost the complete output of one large reactor is effectively what it comes down to. So because we have 2 here, 2 pushing, 2 braking, that's 6. We've got 8 reactors. The other 2 reactors, the output for them is going to be to power the lateral thrusters. Hopefully. We'll see how this all works out. I'm not quite sure if this is going to work or not, because I'm not sure that that's going to be enough lift. I may need to actually put 4 lift thrusters in, and if I do, I will probably reorganize them slightly. Basically, these are the hybrid thrusters. They are the pulse thruster, so they should work in both space and atmosphere. And I'm really hoping that they do, because I don't have any of the anti-grav systems in this game. So yeah, we may need to go grab some of those to put in like an emergency braking system. So let me walk you through the design of this thing. We have our rover cockpit, because once again, this is basically going out to an asteroid, picking up resources and bringing them back. So we do have an O2 generator. Obviously, we have the large cargo container. We then have the conveyor blocks that come off to the side that route in through a series of large reactors, which then come into another conveyor block system into the back here. And this is set up this way because we have 2 build and repair systems on this, and they are located right here with a couple of oxygen tanks that then feed into this system. Now, the oxygen tanks sometimes allow you to pass parts and sometimes they don't. So just depending on which build you're working on and which version of the oxygen tank you may be using, you may or may not have the ability to pass ore through them, which is why we have all of the reactors being fed from both ends, because we can actually pass ore through the reactors back in here. So it makes everything interconnected and gives us a little bit of a level of redundancy that we kind of need on these types of builds. So we'll see how this all plays out. Now, let me see here. You are 1 tank. You are 2 tanks. Okay. And like I said, wasn't anything hugely different on the design over what we did here. I did change up some of the cross bracing a little bit. You'll see it when it gets welded up. But for the most part, it's effectively the same thing. It's just instead of having hydrogen tanks, it's got reactors. So, and an extra cargo container on it. So yeah, we're going to turn Bob on, let Bob run. He'll weld this stuff up. I don't think I have all of the parts, but I'm not that worried about it because we have so much material now. Oh dear Lord, do we have some material. Look at this. Let me show you just how much crap we have. I don't really need a mining rig. All right. So let me go through our materials list right now. We've got 200k iron, 30k silver, 3k of gold. We actually have gold processing right now. Yeah, and as you can see, we have almost 140k, 139k gold ore. Just a crap ton of silicon, a crap ton of nickel. While we only have about 700 magnesium refined, we've got another 280k of raw magnesium. It's just we've got a lot of material, so I'm really not that concerned about it. I mean, just to walk you through here, we've got 40k of platinum in this refinery. Between the 3 refineries, we've got something like 200k of uranium being refined. Another 40k of platinum, so what is that, like that's 80k just between those 2. I thought I had a third one. Maybe the third one. Oh no, I recombined it. So yeah, so we have 80k of raw platinum as well. So yeah, we're not hurting for resources. It's just going to take time to get everything together. Oh, while I'm in there, let's go ahead and get all of our local build and repairs turned on. And I probably should only turn on the aft one, but that's okay. So when we were talking before, we were talking about having it set up so that the little base over here became our starport slash like trade center on the planet. Basically, this is where, if you're doing anything multiplayer, basically everybody's going to come down here. This is going to be the first place planet side that's established. And then, you know, this giant thing will be able to roam around as it needs to, go do whatever mining and everything it needs, and brings resources back while it's processing them in motion too. So by the time it gets back, it should have materials and not just raw resource. Now, with that in mind, I'm going to borrow an idea, and this is why I think that the initial shuttle design might have been influenced by it. I'm going to build a hangar system. This is something that I saw done as kind of a set piece. I'm going to do it a little bit differently. It is in the Escape from Mars mod as well. I don't know who the original author of the research center in Escape from Mars, who built that set, but whoever did a really good job, and it kind of influenced me. It inspired me, I should say, to build something somewhat similar, but not an exact duplicate. So what we're going to do is we're going to end up with 3 of these types of hangar spaces that we have, which means I am going to have to put in a power system other than the one small reactor and some batteries, because we're going to end up with 3 of these types of hangar spaces. I'm going to probably relocate the oxygen tanks off of here. I might just actually store them vertically and then have a conveyor block tie into it. Since we do there's piping that runs under here out to here, I'm thinking I might put a conveyor block there as well, have it split off, and basically run 2 conveyor blocks underground, and then just have the tanks stacked on the ground here. Or I could actually just, since we have them over there, I could actually just move them, leave them horizontal and stack them this way. Let me know what you think, because we're going to have a couple of days before we actually have to get into that portion. So what I think I'll do is we'll build the hangars. We'll get them, you know, basically get everything in place, get it all welded up, get the connectors in, so that we can get, well, I'll probably not do the piping immediately, but we'll at least get the buildings in place so that we can move forward a little bit. Alright, so that's the general idea, and what we've done is we've put roughly the same amount of space in between each of the hangars as the hangars take up for their footprint. And we are going to have this be filled in eventually. And what the idea is that you'll basically have an area to park ground vehicles in between, and you'll have the flying vehicles in the hangar. And then they should be large enough that if you're using small grid builds, you'll be able to actually use this with the atmospheric mod and have actual atmospheric capable craft using the hangars. Once we have the hangars built, we're going to build a taxi system out here, or I should say a taxiway system out here, and then we'll have a runway that runs, you know, basically perpendicular to the, or I'm sorry, parallel to, yeah, runway perpendicular to your hangars is not a good idea. Yeah, so we'll we'll have a runway going parallel to the hangar system so that you'll basically be able to have vehicles taxi out onto the runway, take off, do whatever you need to do. When you come back, you'll have the ability to land and taxi back to the hangar. A lot of stuff to do. Oh, all right. So what I'm going to do is, because basically we're just duplicating what we've already built, I am not going to have you sit through that whole process. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and do a quick cut. I'll get the basics in for the shelling of this place. And then off camera in between, I'll probably go through and do some of the initial set dressing and everything for it. But yeah, so I'm going to go ahead and do a quick cut, and we will be right back. And we're back. So Okay, let me show you what we've gotten done. So Bob has basically welded everything up. As you can see, the reactors are online. What I did in order to get the the uranium rather into the system, instead of building a small like a jumpstart reactor, what I did is I used a solar panel, and it basically gets, you know, you go in, you turn off everything other than the reactors. And what will happen is that the solar panel has just enough power to power the conveyors so that they can pull the uranium into the reactors. The reactors come online, and suddenly you have more power than you know what to do with. At least until we turn the thrusters on. We're gonna put this stuff back here. There we go. Alright, so yeah, now that it's all welded up, let me show you what we've got going on. I am going to, I did like the way that this whole piece came out. So what I'm going to do is we'll continue that here underneath, and I'll deal with that once we get this thing fully powered up and get it off the ground. You know, basically once I know that everything's going to hold together. Because no sense in throwing more resource away if we don't need to. Of course, it is iron, so I mean, it might make sense to do it just to have them in there. But yeah, so it's looking pretty good. Actually, let's go see what we've... I don't have a gyro on here yet, and I'm trying to figure out where I want to put one. I also want to put an antenna and an ore detector, and I'm thinking the antenna and ore detector are probably going to sit... Let's actually... Go ahead and get rid of you for right now. We're going to go ahead and grab... I want the regular ore detector. Yeah, I'm thinking this is probably where they're going to reside. Put an ore detector there. Let's go ahead and grab our antenna. We're going to do the same with our antenna. And what I'm thinking for the gyros is that we're going to end up putting a gyro on either side, most likely. Let's see here. We don't need a second ore detector, but we do need gyros. So I'm thinking, let's see, we'll put a block here, and there. Alright, now see what I'm thinking here is we're going to put a full block on either side there, and then up here we're going to do this. And then this basically lets us get into it if we need to do any repairs or maintenance. And I'm thinking we're gonna put I think we're gonna put a programmable block in. How many blocks is that? That's 3. So if we go, I'm gonna put a programmable block here. Yeah, look at the way that's coming out actually. And we'll have a second programmable block on this side. Like I said, we'll come back and we'll do the greebling and everything later. I'm not overly worried about that right now. You know, I might even come back. I'm thinking I might come back and do the forward part of the 2-part ramp there. Or I might we'll figure it out. I'm not gonna, like I said, I don't want to get too far into the greebling right now, but I do want to at some point come through and touch that all up. Is everything? What are you? You are finished. You are finished. All right, so let's go ahead and grab a couple of K of ice really quick. We've got so much ice floating around in this entire thing. Alright, now let's see if this is going to... It can go into the O2 generator. Alright. There we go. Okay, so it looks like everything is mostly running. Now comes the real test. It's much smaller. Huh. Those hydrogen thrusters really do. Oh, you know what? Oh, that would have been bad. Let's put some laterals on this so that we don't go drifting off unexpectedly. Oh, you know what? Let's use these for the laterals. I may end up using the level 2s for the lift as well, because we do have quite a bit of thrust available. So we're going to do one there, one there, one there. Now the level 2 versions of these things are ridiculously power hungry. So what we're doing is making sure we have everything set up. Where did I put that last one up? I put you favoring that side. Okay. I may end up putting 2 in the middle. One there, one there. Sure, we'll do that. Why not, right? Okay. Alright, so with just those 4, 8 thrusters, not seeing a whole lot of power draw. That's good for now. Okay. Let's go ahead and grab our landing gear, because we're going to have this be a switch lock. Before we go any further, we're going to grab all of the pulse thrusters. We're going to label that as all, just so we know. There you go. Okay. I think that's everything, right? Oh, this is gonna be bad. Nope, we can fly. Oh, look at you. Aren't you a glorious little thing? Alright, so what's our acceleration like? Acceleration's not too bad, actually. Alright, so I do think I'm going to end up adding 17%, so that would give us 34% once everything is up and running. Yeah, see, just... So if it's going... So if we're burning at 10% output, just hovering, those 4 on each direction, the 4 laterals, are putting out or consuming as much power as 2 of the large lift, which tells me they're probably a 2-to-1 ratio then. That's not too bad. Which means that these little thrusters on the side are equivalent to, I want to say, 4 large small grid thrusters. That is a crazy amount of power consumption. Alright. Because remember, we have 8 large reactors, small grid variant, powering this thing. And the few engines that we have are taking upwards of 1/3 of the available power of 8 large reactors. That is absolutely horrifying. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and set you for toggle blocks on and off, since that works. Okay. I like the fact that it's small, it's more compact than the other one. But that does mean we're going to need to rework some of this. What I may do is install the LCD. There's a, for those who don't know, there's a mod out that allows you to do different types of LCD blocks. Basically, it follows the same block sizes as and block types as the normal light armor block. So you have the regular small block, you have the half slope, and they have LCDs that fit on most of these. I don't think they have an LCD for this particular block. But what I'm thinking is I do believe they have an LCD. One of the LCDs fits this light armor slope tip. And if they do, what I'll do is I'll actually mount an LCD here so that it's raised off so you can see it. And then that way when you're getting into the ship, you'll actually have a small LCD display here and you'll be able to see the stats on the ship before you get into it. That way you don't have to walk up to the side. Like with this one of the problems is that you have to walk over to the side to see the LCD, which is fine. You know, you can get the information, but oh, excuse me, hiccups. That is one of the reasons why I went with the smaller slopes, the quarter block slope here, instead of the 2-part slope or the 45-degree slope. Was that way when I'm on the ground I can see more of the screen without having to jump up or use thrusters or whatever. So, alright. Okay. So, that's this thing in a nutshell. We do need to add a couple more thrusters up here. I'm probably going to have... I don't know if I want to put large thrusters on this. I think I might actually do the small thrusters, and that might be... Because what I'm thinking here is something like this, maybe? Or I might do them where they are down in the middle there. I don't know. I mean, I could put them there. We don't need many. I mean, we're only using 4 on either of the sides for lateral. And this really is just more of a maneuvering thruster setup than it is anything else. Because we're not going to be using... I mean, obviously, if we get turned over in a gravity well, we're kind of screwed anyway if we can't get back on the main thrusters. So I think in the name of power efficiency, we're going to do that. I still do need to put a connector on it. I may put the connector on top of the cockpit, actually. Everything's piped in, right? Looks like it. Can I get... No. See, I'm betting that's turned off, isn't it? Yep. Still can't get to it, though. Huh. That is interesting. Okay, I'll have to figure out what's going on with that. It may be, I may have added the generator incorrectly. I thought that was the connection point. Let me see. Yeah. Odd. I thought we could get the tanks in through that port before. Maybe I am misremembering. You know what? I don't even have to do that. I can just do that. There you go. We'll definitely get some ice in here to get this whole thing powered up. Alright, so let me show you what we've got going on with the hangars. Ooh, wrong direction. No, it was the right direction. Over here. Okay. Everything's starting to become so sprawling, it's getting a little harder to keep track of everything. So we've got the beginnings of the hangars in place. As you can see, Bob is welding them up now. Where these little cutouts are here, we're going to go through and put in the ramps, the 2x1 ramps to top this. And then basically do what we did over here, which is, you know, we have everything everything mounted in here. And then we have the half blocks tying it all together. So, yeah. Okay. I think that is going to about do it for us today. What I am going to do off camera is we're going to go ahead and get the rest of the blocks in place in between. Well, I might leave that open actually. We'll see. I don't know, let me know what you think, because what I can do is I can run, I think I have the cables, right? No, I've got the piping though. I thought I had the cable one too. Yeah, I do. I have the cable one. The power lines. Because what I was thinking is, can I do that? I can, but I don't have the blocks for it. So what I'm thinking is running these across and using that to connect it, and then we could leave this open. Actually, what do I need for these? I need interior plates. Let's grab, I don't know, a couple hundred of these things really quick. Because what I'm thinking is we do construction components to start them. Damn it. Come here. Alright. Let's try that again. Now these are normally things that I would use for set pieces, but they do have the benefit of working as we need to for connecting. There you go. And then when it welds up, should be okay. Oh, sounds like a unknown signal source just detonated. We have those, and then they do have these as well. And I'll probably end up using some of the cabling too, so let's do this. Alright. So the shifted blocks sit at the top. See how this one sits in the middle? So this one actually would sit above it, which is actually good, because that allows me to do... If we do that there, we could actually do something like... it would be better to have it running at the... I think it'd be kind of cool to have something like this where it runs under the ground. I would love to have it sit like right on the ground, but it's just not where I need it to be. I mean, that one could. And see, that would work actually. If we go, it's a curved end, so we could actually do something like this. Let's see here. And see, then that runs that way, but that would block. No. So I think what we're going to have to do is we're going to have to wait until we have this welded up a little bit, figure out what we want to do with it. But you see how we have the cabling there? Then we'd be able to then take this out, because that allows for the connection to count. So, and yes, I know you can you can go into advanced construction and have it set up so you can do things like attaching this to the rest of this grid, because it should in theory be within the build space. But I still like having physical connections between things. It just tends to be a little bit more clean, I think. All right. And see, then you have it pipe in here, and then on this wall we would do, I don't know, do we have any? Ooh, power saw. See, if we were using the offset ones, those would work great. And then that's a button. Oh, we're gonna have to play with this mod. Look at you. Alright. I like it. Vertical button, button. Horizontal button. Four-way junction. Yes, we are definitely going to have to play with this mod a little bit. Right. Let's see. You. Gotta get rid of this. See, it's really meant for you to be doing that with. Let's see, you got 3 connectors there. So if we did, say, something like that, let's grab this one here, because there's the power cell. We'd have to... Yeah. Nope. Alright. I'll figure it out. Didn't mean for you to weld that up. Anyway, so I think that's going to about do it for us today. Not bad timing, actually, considering the sun is going down. We got a lot done. We've got the... Obviously, the first hanger was already done. The second hanger is framed in for the most part. Just have to do the roof. And then the third hanger, we still need to do the walls and then the roof as well. So I'm going to go ahead and take care of those off camera. I want to thank you all for stopping in today. Hopefully you enjoyed it. If you did, make sure you hit those like buttons. If you have any questions, feel free to throw them down in the section below. And if you're new to the channel, enjoying what I do around here, or you just want to do something nice for me, make sure you hit that subscribe button. And if you're really enjoying it, hit that bell button to be informed when the next one comes out as well. Come here, you. T600s. Come here. Alright. And on that note, I'm going to get out of here. Hope you all have a fantastic day. Enjoy your weekend. For the folks that are in the U.S. or anywhere else that may be celebrating the National Oh God, Why Did I Eat So Much Day, also known as Thanksgiving. I hope you have a fantastic time with your friends and family, and we will see you back here next time for more Space Engineers. As always, folks, take care and be safe out there, everybody. Okay, I know there's more of these guys around here. There's never just 2 stuck on the base.